All right, boys and girls. So since we're adding dialogue into a lot of our writing, the stories that you're writing, I wanted to talk about how do we punctuate that dialogue correctly. So when we're adding quotation marks into our writing, there's a couple of things we need to know. First of all, you need quotation marks if you have the exact words of the speaker. So for example, in the sentence, Susie asked, "Are you finished with your report yet?" I know that Susie is the speaker and her exact words are you finished with your report yet?" So I'm going to put quotation marks before she starts speaking, right before that word, and after she's done speaking, after the end punctuation there. All right, so that the reader knows these are Susie's exact words that she said. A couple other things I want you to notice is this comma that is right here in between her exact words and what she does not say. Okay, so we have to have that comma there. And we also need to capitalize the first word of her sentence. Are is not a proper noun, but we capitalize the first word of a sentence. Even though it's not the first word of this sentence, it is the first word of Susie's exact words. So we do capitalize that. In the next sentence, Joe replied, "I have to reread it, so it's perfect." So his exact words are, "I have to reread it, so it's perfect." I'm going to put the quotation marks before I, where he starts speaking, and after he's done speaking, after the exclamation point at the end of his sentence. I also need to make sure I capitalize the beginning of his sentence. Sorry. Even though the pronoun I is always capitalized, but make sure that it is. And we also need a comma in between what he does not say and his exact words. And that's what we have right here. Our teacher replied, "That's a good idea, Joe." So the teacher's exact words were, "That's a good idea, Joe." So we would put quotation marks before that and after the period at the end of the sentence. And make sure that I capitalize that. Oops, sorry. And put a comma in between the teacher's exact words and what they do not say. All right, last one. Sam said, "I'm still working on my rough draft." Sam's exact words are, "I'm still working on my rough draft." So I'm going to put quotation marks before I'm and after the period where he's done talking. I'm going to capitalize I'm because that's the beginning of his sentence. And also we always capitalize I'm. And I need to make sure I have a comma that also separates what he did not say from what he did say. Okay, now we're going to try a couple on your own. So I want you to get out your pencil and paper if you don't already. And take a look at this sentence, and I want you to practice adding in quotation marks, a comma, and a capital letter to show what Mrs. Jones has said. Mrs. Jones said, "Today we will draw frogs." Go ahead and pause the video and then press start when you are ready to check your answer. Okay, so the correct answer is we need quotation marks before today and after frogs because those are Mrs. Jones' exact words. We need a comma after said, and we need to capitalize the T in today because that's the beginning of Mrs. Jones's sentence. All right, next one. Sammy asked, "Will you show us how to do that?" Go ahead and pause the video, add in a comma, a capital letter, and two sets of quotation marks to show what Sammy has said exactly. Okay, so the correct answer is to put quotation marks before will and after the question mark at the end of the sentence. And then we also need a comma after asked and a capital W for will at the beginning of Sammy's sentence. All right, last one. Mrs. Jones said, "Yes, I will. Watch me." I want you to put in a comma, quotation marks, and a capital letter. All right, checking back. Correct answer is you need quotation marks before yes and after the period and me, and a comma after said, and a capital Y for yes. All right, boys and girls, good luck putting those into your memoirs and fairy tales. Have a good night.